Hi, I'm Craig. Welcome to this edition of FoxCast. Today, I'm joined by Rahi, Solar4Good, one of the founders of Solar4Good.
Correct, yeah.
Thanks for coming up today. I think, is it the first time we've met, or I think we may have met once at the show?
I think we met at a couple of shows.
Yeah, and sort of past, at those events and stuff like that. It's really good to see you. I know you've actually travelled quite a long way today to be here.
No, it's fine.
So we'll start, and this is how we always start, really. Give us an introduction to yourself, your journey, and Solar4Good, and how it all came about.
Brilliant, yeah, sure. Like I said, I'm Rahi, one of the founders of Solar4Good. Been in the industry a long time. Actually used to work for somebody I used to work within the industry for somebody, then took the plunge, went on my own, so to speak. And yeah, Solar4Good started, and we supply, design and install solar panels. That's pretty much.
When did it start? So the origins of Solar4Good as a company. I know you go back further than that, but Solar4Good itself.
Solar4Good started in 2021.
Okay,
it's the journey's been eventful.
Yeah,
we've seen the peaks and troughs within the industry. But it's been coming up to 5-6 years now.
Yeah, so it go well,
very well.
Yeah,
can't complain.
Yeah. I know you do a lot of our kit, and I know. We said this off camera, your name in the industry is very well respected, and certainly customer feedback, as an approved partner for us, obviously we only grant that status to companies that meet the criteria for after sales service and for ethics and everything like that. So I mean, I can say Solar4Good are very well respected.
We do try.
You try, yeah, and you have to, don't you? Really,
absolutely. Yeah, customer service is the top of our list.
Yeah,
it's that journey from customer making an inquiry to the final installation and giving them the handover. It's got to be. That customer's got to have that right journey. It's got to be seamless.
It's key, isn't it? And then you said. And then there's the after sales. There's you say Solar4Good. I mean, you're there for good. I mean, that's the ethos, I guess.
Absolutely, yes. Solar4Good, we're here for good, and the system on their roof is going to be pretty much for good as well. So the after sales is absolutely one of the most important part of the journey for us. Is the after sales communication with the customer. After a few months, they've had the system installed, analyze it, see how much they've saved, what's come off their bills. Can we optimize the system any better, with what they got and so forth. So it's massively important to us.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk a little bit about that now, actually, the sales journey. Customer makes inquiry. Now, that can be through, I don't know how you generate leads specifically, but that inquiry comes in. What happens from that point? How do you handle those inquiries? Are you using salespeople on the road? Is it a more of a sort of passive, and you do a survey and it's more technical? What's your approach to that?
It's funny you say that. In fact, so I think we were one of the first companies to actually revolutionize or change the industry. Traditionally, how it was, a sales inquiry comes, they get an appointment booked, and a sales rep goes into the customer's house and almost pictures them what solar is and goes in the house. We were one of the first, if not the first, to actually do things remotely.
Yeah.
Because, nobody, let's face it, nowadays people live busy lifestyles and so forth. Nobody wants them people in the house, right? And so what we do, so our process is maybe a little bit different. So we get an inquiry in, we get one of the team to give them a call.
Yeah.
Go through the process, find out a little bit about their requirements, why they want solar, what come about, the reason for them making an inquiry. It then gets passed to one of our consultants. If you're lucky, you might get me. I enjoy, I'm a hands-on type of owner.
Yeah.
So obviously, and then it's over a telephone conversation that we had. It could be via Zoom, via Teams, or, more than likely it's via a telephone conversation. So we then speak to the customer, see what their needs are, what come about their inquiry for solar. We do request they have their bill in front of them, so we know what their estimated annual usage is, and then we can advise them on the system from there. We look at their roof on Google Earth, see what, Google Earth has tools now. You can measure the roof. We then have a look and see what potentially can fit on their roof, what size battery is right for them. Talk about their future needs. Are they looking to buy an EV in the future, going down the air source heat pump route, planning to put electricity, over the post-COVID or during the COVID period, a lot of people put in hot tubs. It is right in their properties. As soon as they got the electricity bill thereafter, they're like, wow. And then if it's right and the customer and Solar4Good are a match, so to speak, we then book in an on-site survey where one of us...
But that comes later, doesn't it? Because I think we are seeing it, you're right. I think we're seeing a few people take that approach now. And for what you've described there, it's a proper consultation.
Sure.
You're matching the solution to the customer, not the other way around.
Absolutely.
I remember, because I was in the industry 2012, and I actually did a bit of sales back then. It was very old school. It was, here's a lead, Craig. Go to see Mr. and Mrs. Smith, sit on their sofa and try and close a deal.
Absolutely.
I was never I was all right at it, because I on the technical side, but I was never that kind of sign here, Mr. Smith, because it didn't sit well. And it's good to see, actually, that the industry's moved away from that, I think, and now takes this approach of it's a consultation. Let's get this right. Because let's be honest, from the end customer's perspective, it's a significant investment. This is a lot of money that they're paying.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, what you're saying now, obviously, it's really good to hear that that approach is now prevalent. And like you said, it's a relatively recent thing.
Sure.
You may be one of the pioneers of it.
Yeah, I believe we were. Yeah, we were one of the pioneers of it. And going back to your point, is most customers buy a system once in their lifetime, right?
Yeah,
they got to get it right. They got to get it right. They got to choose the right installation company, the right products, and so forth. So, yes, it's not something that can be rushed, the decision.
Yeah. In terms of the inquiries you get from customers, I should imagine they're pretty varied. Do you find nowadays that people are coming better informed? They're coming to you after having done their own research and almost know, some of them, what they want before you speak to them?
Absolutely correct. A lot of people now, they know exactly what they want. We live in a world of technology, AI, so it's very easy to find out what you need as well. So yes, answer to that, your question is absolutely. A lot of people do know exactly what they want.
You can't fool them.
You can't fool them. No.
It's like you say, it's all out there now. There's online communities, there's Facebook forums, chat forums. You've got AI. So yeah, I see that more often now. In feedback I get from installers is that customers more than ever are informed. Some of them not always correctly informed.
Yeah, true.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there that's misleading. But it's interesting you're seeing that as well. In terms of you mentioned a little bit about designing a system and obviously collecting all that information via the survey. So you're doing your basic survey, roof pitch, orientation, deviation from south, those sort of standard survey questions and bits of information that you'll collect during that process. Then you talk about the energy bill. Now, it's become, go back 10 years, it was quite simple. People had a tariff. They had a fixed tariff. One or two people were on economy 7. Now, of course, you've got to factor in smart tariffs, variable tariffs, half hourly metering, and all that sort of thing. Is that a bit of a challenge, or is that something you embrace? And
I think it's revolutionary. I think it's great. Yes, you need to take all them things into consideration when we're speaking to the customer. So, with these overnight tariffs, it revolutionized the whole battery storage industry.
Yeah.
You can force charge your battery, then discharge during the daytime, which is great. The likes of Octopus have come in and done all these, overnight cheap tariffs. A lot of the other energy companies have followed suit.
Yeah.
I do think it's great. I embrace it. You got to adapt to it. the smart meters, obviously half an hour tariffs and half an hour meter readings that you
half an hour settlement, it's a client score coming in.
And I truly believe you can get to what the customer's needs are much better in that way, as opposed to, a few 5, 7, 8 years ago, stick a 4 kilowatt system in, put an inverter in, and then off you go.
It makes it more difficult though to calculate ROI, doesn't it? Okay, I guess because it's so variable. There's so many variables. So I mean, if you go back in time, it was a case of, well, if you have a battery, for example, in the early days of battery, with PV, you're self-consuming roughly 25%. With the battery, you'll be sort of 70%. There's the difference. That's your rate. Here's a calculation.
Correct.
And now, of course, you've got to factor in all of these smart tariffs and all of these optimization services now that are available. I've got a couple to speak to you about afterwards, actually, that I think you'll be interested in.
Definitely.
Things we've announced recently at Fox that will add value, I think, to yourselves and to your offering. I want to talk about trust, okay?
Yeah.
I'm specifically going to talk about Trustpilot now.
Is it?
And I look at Trustpilot a lot because part of the process we have for vetting installers to give them the highest status that we, as part of our accreditation scheme, is to look at Trustpilot. And I noticed that what you see a lot of in this industry is companies that have a lot of 5-star reviews.
Sure.
Have a lot of 1-star reviews. Sure. That triggers alarm bells because if you look at their accounts, 5-star reviews tend to be one-liners from people with one review.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got a significant number of 1-star reviews, and it kind of suggests that there's some issues there that that kind of leap out. If I look at yours, for example, you've got pretty much exclusively 5-star. Very, very few negative reviews, almost negligible numbers. I struggled to find one, if I'm honest. I don't think I did. So for me, I think Trustpilot, it's almost, the 5-star reviews are not that significant. Don't even read them.
Yeah, it's the 1 stars.
And the absence, because what we do it, right? Okay, so we have a customer and they have a good experience and they thank our support agent, said, you really have, would you mind leaving a review on Trustpilot for us? Every company's going to do that. You're going to encourage the positive experiences to translate into a review.
Yeah. You
could control that to a point. What you can't control is the people having bad experiences posting on there. So I think it's so there's 2 questions that I'm getting to on this. Firstly, how important is Trustpilot and those other review platforms to your business today?
Yeah.
And how frustrated are you that when you look at other companies that are maybe, it's clear they're not playing with a straight bat in terms of how they handle those reviews?
True. Look, it's a funny one. You're absolutely right. I do believe the customers are much more clued on now.
Yeah.
They, you can see the one-liner reviews. They've only made one review. There's a balance of the 1 stars and the 5 stars. It's very easy to say. I'm not going to mention any company name.
No, of course.
You can tell straight away.
Yeah.
With us, we genuinely, as one of the company owners and the founders, my background is customer service. We genuinely want that customer to have a great experience. And if there is, look, we're not perfect.
No, of course.
The customer might have, some bad experience within the way. But one thing as an organization, Solar4Good, that we do, we address it straight away.
Yeah.
We speak to the customer, we communicate with the customer, and we try to get it right. And genuinely, if you do that 1-star experience can turn into a 5-star experience, even if it's something, you haven't, something goes wrong along the way. It's hugely important for us, massively important now for us, the Trustpilot reviews, because there's so much competition within the business, within the industry. There's huge, Joe the electrician now is now installing solar panels.
You have that big range. You have all the way, your Octopus doing their own installs all the way down to one man in a van.
Exactly.
And lots in between. It's very competitive out there, isn't it?
Extremely competitive. People are more price sensitive nowadays, we've noticed. But we've also noticed people will pay that little bit more for that extra bit of service. I'm personally like that. If I like something and I like somebody and I like the company, and I genuinely get a good feel for the company. The company's, got good 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. They've not just got 10, 20, 30 reviews.
Yeah.
I believe we've got over 500-600 5-star reviews.
And that's key, isn't it, as well? Volume.
Hugely, 5, 10 reviews. It's debatable and questionable.
Yeah.
You got over 300-400 5-star reviews. The company, it's been trading well. It's a genuinely bona fide company, and it's massive for us.
You can normally tell as well by reading them. So if I read yours, they're very organic. They're very, that's you could see straight away that's an honest and review from a customer. It's not these, like we mentioned it before, these.
And you can see that customer's just not left one review. They're 7, 8 reviews.
Yeah, you occasionally going to get one that you've asked who's never done it before. Sure. But for the most part, yeah, you're right. It's a real giveaway sign when you can see 10 5-star reviews and they've all only ever left one review. Without pointing fingers at anybody, look, it happens in industry. We know that because it's now so important, isn't it?
It's hugely important. And we also ask for reviews not straight after the installation sometimes.
Yeah.
6 months down the line, 8 months down the line. How is the system getting on? Because you can, some of the customers might know, you do the installation, it all looks good, the panels are on the roof, the inverter's there, green lights flashing, I'll give a 5-star review. But what about in 6 months' time?
Yeah.
Is the system still generating? Yeah. Is everything still working? Is everything still on the roof? Is the inverter still on there? Is the battery still working? Are you force charging with the cheap electricity overnight? We get great back-end support from you guys. Fox give us great back-end support. Hence the reason why we're one of the biggest installers, because we get the support as well.
Yes.
So, it's about, having the customer has the installation, and 6 months down the line, we get a lot of our customers leave reviews then.
Yeah. And then that's a good sign. I think just finally on this, where it is frustrating is where a customer leaves a review. It's unfair. I think that it's like really, I've had it here at other places where, and there's not a lot you can do about it. There is. You can approach them, you can engage with them, can't you? And just have a conversation and just try and.
That's all it's about.
Yeah.
It's all it's about. It's having that conversation with the communication. And, I believe this industry lacks, a lot of installers lack communication with the customer.
Fit and forget.
Yeah. Fit and run, whatever you want to call it. And that's the biggest issue within this industry at the moment. And genuinely, I believe customers won't mind spending a little bit more, going with a company that's going to communicate with them. It's on your roof for 25 years.
Yeah.
So for 25 years, you genuinely, you want to communicate. You want to firstly make sure that the company is around for 25 years.
Yeah.
And also you want that communication. With Solar4Good, if you join, if a customer has an install from Solar4Good, I genuinely feel they're part of the family. They're part of the Solar4Good family, and we constantly communicate with them.
Well, so carry on on a break. So there's no continuity here. We just no, it's not. We'll plow on, because I wanted to ask you actually about the products. Mm-hmm. So as a company, you're offering a range of different manufacturers. Now, you may have a preference of, hopefully it'd be Fox.
Absolutely.
Yeah, over others, but you do offer a range. In terms of what you then propose to the customer, so you've done the survey, you've had the conversation, you've then got to propose a system. Do you propose more than one and give them a choice, or do you say that's the best fit for you?
Great question, Craig. It's a funny one, because yes, we have our preferred brands.
Yeah.
But how Solar4Good and how I choose the brand is the level of support mm-hmm. that we get from the brand itself. So as well, yes. So there's a range of brand out there. Cheapest is not always the best. I'll definitely say that. And I'll go back to it. So our Trustpilot reviews, as you can see, we've got over 500, 600, 700, over 1,000 across all platforms, 5-star reviews. And I always say this to the staff, and I say this to the customers as well. You can have great customer service. You can have the best customer service ever. But if you put a rubbish product in, eventually you're going to get found out.
Yeah.
You're good. Them 5-star reviews are going to go down to 1 star because you're testing the customer's patience. Then you can have, you're going to start getting 1-star reviews. The way we choose the brands, I'm going to be honest with you, is the level of support that we get from the manufacturers. So it's people like yourself, Fox, great brand. We have some great feedback from customers, but not only they get great support from you guys, but you give it to us as well as installers. So, that's the main reason how we choose the brands is the level of support that we give, and also what's suited for the customer as well.
There's always an element of that, isn't it?
Some customers are very techie, and they know what they want. They know this is the brand I want. I've done my research. I want this. Price me up on this. Some customers will be like, I'm going to go by your lead. What do you think? And that's where we come in and say, look, we believe this is suited for you, where it's actually going. We're in the time now where a lot of people want things on the exterior.
I was going to ask that. What proportion are you doing outdoors, though?
I would say about 80 odd percent of us.
Okay.
And the rest of the 20 odd percent would be in the garage or utility rooms. We rarely install in the loft, and we're still doing.
It was a thing, wasn't it? That was commonplace, but it's obviously died to death now with the PAS regulations and the guidance that's been issued. I mean, on that, how frustrating is that in terms of regs and the red tape that the industry has to put up with? It's
you got to embrace it, right? It's the safety element as well.
Yeah.
If it's in my own house, I wouldn't want it up there. If you have the safety element of it, so you got to embrace that. But I do believe, especially people like Fox, yourselves, Craig, you're adapting to it. The EP12s, the warm element of it, you can put it outside. The aesthetically more pleasing, as opposed to when we used to put the old, I call it the VHS players up in the
the stackable sort of
the stackable stuff,
mounted stuff.
Yeah, so it's more pleasing on the eye now. So people don't mind it.
Yeah.
On the outside, you guys are obviously adapted.
Yeah.
Make the EP12s or some of these a lot of the battery, all the batteries that we do are IP65 and 66 rated, so they can go outside.
Well, you have to adapt. Yeah,
you have to.
We do. You do. I think with the regulations, I think the frustration is that in principle we get it. Yeah. The motivations for it are sound.
Yeah.
We all want it to be safe. We all people to have confidence in it as a technology that obviously is going to people's homes. But I think sometimes it's in the detail, isn't it? Sometimes they get it wrong.
Yeah, of course.
And then the likes of yourself, us as a manufacturer, have to adapt to things that we really oughtn't have to adapt to, but it is what it is. We're even as a big manufacturer with a certain degree of sway given our market position, we still don't really have much of a say. We have to just take it on the chin.
But you adapt, right? And you do it, and it's just the same way we have to adapt. The customer has to adapt to a certain extent as well, and it's just the way the world is going at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's not going to change anytime soon. They're not going to do a U-turn on it. There's not going to be a reversal, so you've just got to roll with it. And
absolutely,
so that it is what it is. We've mentioned a couple of times about price.
My favourite subject.
Yeah, because how do you deal with the customer that says to you, "My mate down the pub, he's had a system, it's $2,000 cheaper than the one you've quoted before"? I mean,
we get this on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. I say it's difficult. If the customer is willing to listen, you have to explain to them. It's mate down the pub could have got it from Joe the builder or Bob the builder. That's got it done. His overheads are different. Is he going to be around in 5 years' time? Is he going to be around in a couple of years' time? If you need that level of support within, a few months, is he going to pick up the phone, or is he busy installing, or he's on a roof, or he's at, wiring up something? Is he going to have time for you? and this is the major issue that we're facing within the industry, I think. I think the price, we're very reasonable in terms of our price. It's there or thereabouts. Look, we're not cheap as Joe the Joe the electrician, and we're not expensive, at the top end that like some other companies, not mentioning any names, but we're about in the middle ground. Yeah, more and more I'm tending to find in the last, last 6-7 months, people are willing to spend £500, £600, £700, £800 more to go with a qualified company or a bigger outfit.
Yeah. That gives that sort of insurance, that reassurance. Listen, I've been in installations, and there was times when a customer would say, "Well, I found that product online for this price, and you're charging me this, therefore you're making this much money." And what? Yeah, but there's a D&O application in there. There's insurance-backed guarantees. There's the fact that we're committing to support you. We're not going to leave you in the lurch.
Absolutely.
There may need to be a return visit. We don't know. We have to build in that margin.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we won't be here in a year.
Absolutely. There's scaffolding to take into consideration. There's the actual install cost. Do you want me to find a £50 installer? These installers are qualified. The electrician is qualified. He's gone through all the right training, all the right procedure. There's a cost element to that. You phone us 10 times at the office, we'll pick up the phone, we'll answer all your questions, we'll help you where you need to do that. That's an element of administration cost there. I am tending to find more and more customers are now
understanding
about it. Yeah, it's
because what they also don't see is the cost of acquisition. So the point at which they've contacted you, that's already cost you a significant amount, because you're doing Google AdWords, you're maybe doing lead gen, you do outward marketing, lead, whatever it is you choose. All companies have a different approach.
Which is all prices is going up by the way. It's all going up.
I dread to think what the Google Ads cost per click is now. I can imagine.
I don't even want to go into that after a moment.
So people don't see that. It's all expense on you as a business that you have to somehow build into your pricing structure.
Definitely. And so we're quite lucky in terms of the customers that we're dealing with. They are understanding about that. You do get the odd few, but it's sometimes you have to let them go and let them go down that journey that they want. We have, I don't know, maybe 10-15 calls a day in my office I get that customers have been installed from somebody else that have done it a lot cheaper. They've come back to us and said, "Look, I'm in this situation. They're not answering the phone. We've got issues now. Would you help us?" We do it, but it's like a bit like I told you something.
Yeah, there's a bit of that in there. And the other thing, I suppose, is if you've got that customer saying you've quoted him a very fair price, and he says, "I can get it for X amount cheaper." The temptation, I suppose, is not to, because you can't keep devaluing your offering by just dropping your price every time anybody puts that ultimatum in front of you. It's, well, either you drop it or we go with somebody else.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to say, we'll go with somebody else.
Yeah, a lot of the times nowadays, if they do that, we have to be a little bit strict in our policy in terms of, okay, well, sorry, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We try to explain to them the aftercare and everything service, but if they're not. If it's a race to the bottom, we don't want to be in that race.
No, it's not a good race to be in.
Yeah, my biggest sales force is my customers. Yeah, that's my biggest sales are my customers. We give them a great journey the whole way through. They're going to give us recommendations, and we work a lot on recommendation. We get a lot of.
That's perfect, isn't it? If you're getting referrals from existing customers, nothing better than that.
It shows that we're doing something right.
You're doing it right, and it shows that you're winning, really. Sure. Okay, so we'll move on really probably to the final topic, really, which is to talk about the future. Where does Solar4Good go next? Are you consolidating where you are at the minute in terms of what you offer, or have you got potentially some franchising. Is that fair?
Yes, there's talks. There's talks. Nothing concrete yet. So I watch that space. But the main, like I said, our main thing is that customer has a great journey. We do not want to compromise that in any way, shape, or form. So we don't want to get too big, and that compromises our 5-star reviews across 1,000 across all platforms. It's massive for us. We want to keep it. We want to increase that. Like I said, our biggest customers, my biggest sales force is my customers. So we get a lot of referrals. We do a lot of business with the referrals. We are tapping into we have been doing it from day one, but we're doing a lot more now in the commercial market.
Okay.
We're massive installers on care homes.
Okay.
So on care homes, we are, if not the biggest, or one of the biggest installers for solar panels on care homes. We do a lot of commercial buildings. I just believe the return on investment is a no-brainer.
Commercial is a big growth sector. It's a huge growing so quickly, yeah.
And for us, is where we are. We're already in that market, but we want to expand our market share within that, the commercial sector.
So that's where you see some growth coming up. And technology-wise, then, so it's PV, it's battery storage, it's EV chargers. Do anything alongside that you're offering?
The air source heat pump. We're going to get to the air source heat pump. No, I'll be honest with you, not at the moment. Again, watch this space. I'm one of these people, and the company is that if we can do it perfectly, then we'll enter it. If there's any grey area, or if there's anything that I'm not too sure about, I'd rather stay away. I'd rather concentrate. Master of one, not jack of all. So it's the main thing.
It's been considered, but the
main for Solar4Good is keeping up with technology. Speaking to the customers, seeing what they want, looking in the market, see what's out there, where we can tap in. Maybe we cover nationally, so we've got offices up and down the country and branches up, depots up and down the country. It's maybe tap into new areas. Is part of the plan,
So the existing model. Just growing that, but growing it organically, not too quickly. Because like you said, the moment you lose that customer feedback that you've got at the minute, which is obviously that 5-star feedback, it's like a house of cards, isn't it? Everything starts to come crashing.
And it's happened to us as organizations out there that, they're growing too quickly, and then it comes tumbling down.
I've seen it. We've both seen it, haven't we, over the years, So I think that's 100% the right approach. Finally, just these couple of closing questions, but it's all right. Right. So if somebody's thinking about going solar this year, making the plunge, maybe they're thinking about it for several years, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them? I think you've probably covered it, but I guess it's kind of...
I'll give you the best piece of advice I'll give you, all right? Contact Solar4Good. Contact Rahi. My number, I don't know if I can share my number.
No, you can't. In fact, what we'll do, because that was my last question, just how do people reach you? So, please give us your contact channels, and what we'll do is we'll put them on screen as well.
Do you know what? They can contact me directly.
Okay.
And I can give you my direct number. You
won't regret it, but go.
No worries, I won't make it. 0751 55 10770. Contact Rahi. Contact me. I'll personally deal with you.
Straight to the top man.
Straight to the top you come. You'll be well looked after. So if Solar4Good. If you're thinking about Solar4Good is the one. Read our Trustpilot reviews. Look at our across all platforms. Look at our reviews. If you want to speak to existing customers that have been installed 2 years ago, I'll arrange it. And you'll see, you'll get that level of service that you want.
Sitting here, and I don't work for Solar4Good, I work for Fox, but I can say, that I would echo everything you've just said there. And what we get a good handle on here at Fox is who out there is, and this plays into who we pass leads on to,
No, of course, yeah. And that means a lot.
We can obviously, back that up, and you are a trusted partner of ours, so I certainly would.
There's a lot, Craig. Thank you.
No problem at all. And
we do try hard. I do.
Yeah. You've said it yourself. You don't always get it right because we don't always get it right. And you talked about our service. we know we have problems occasionally with our service, and I think you mentioned it when you were talking about putting it right. Address it. If there's something not working, then put it right.
Absolutely, and that goes with any aspect of in life, right? If there's an issue, you face it head on, resolve it, and I personally, I believe in that in my personal life and within the business as well. Address it head on, and don't brush it under the carpet. Address it head on, and customers respect that. They understand that as well. So. Yeah, I think that's the best policy, and we'll always have that policy installed within my organisation.
It's a good ethos to have, and congratulations on the success you've had and the growth. We look forward to working with you going forward. Thanks for your time today, and thank you to everyone for watching. I'm Craig, this is FoxCast. Thank you.